I'm Shannon Klee for Canadian HR Reporter TV. Paul Bates is the Dean of the DeGroote School of Business at McMaster University. He talked about his new book, What I Have Learned So Far and How It Can Help You, at a Strategic Capability Network event in Toronto. Why did you want to write this book?
I think people really learn by listening to the stories of others, that we internalize some of maybe the more theoretical learning that we've done. We learned that. But then, as the interviews unfolded, was this recognition that everybody has a story. And if I could, I'd interview the world. But they don't have to be famous people. They have to be people that are, you walk past them on the street and you suddenly realize that as that person is walking past you, they may be, groping with a significant challenge themselves, and they're thinking their way through it. And I think as we hear these stories of just everybody, and then connect our stories to their stories, it helps us in our humanity, actually.
What is the most interesting thing that you've learned from your interviews for this book?
That they've all had challenges. In some cases, there are stories of people that had extreme challenges, and they may have been challenges to them personally. They were ill, or they suffered from an addiction, or they simply got so engaged with a particular path that they forgot all of the other parts of their life. In some cases, they were external events. There was one individual who lost a significant number of family members all at once, all separate incidents, but just learning to cope with that incredible amount of grief and learning how to compartmentalize those issues and sort of move past them. These were some of the stories that were quite remarkable. And sometimes just making decisions, just making a key decision, knowing that that decision might put you in a place of greater risk, a greater discomfort, greater uncertainty, but knowing that it's time to do it, knowing that it's time to move on.
And what is it about overcoming challenges that has helped people to be successful?
I read an interesting paper, actually, in Harvard Business Review several years ago that captures it very well. They talk about the characteristics of resilience, and they say that there are three. The first one is a sense of reality. It is what it is. The second is, the way they describe it, is an ability to improvise. I think this is very important. Sometimes all of the tools that we need are not at hand, and we just have to make do. And then the third one, which is perhaps, I think, one of the most Canadian of characteristics, is a sense of humor. The ability, and particularly a self-deprecating sense of humor, the opportunity to look in the mirror at yourself and have a good laugh. That you really messed that up today, and laugh about it, learn from it, and move on.
What do you think HR professionals can learn from this book?
Actually, it turns out I think this book is very important for HR professionals, because it reminds us that we've got to get to know the people that we are hiring and that we are developing in the company, and to know that they are growing while they're working with us, and to understand the journey that they're going through while they are growing.
Based on your experiences, where do leaders need to improve?
Well, it's an old expression, but management by walking around. You can't learn the stories of others if you sit in your office and write emails and write memos. You've got to get up and you've got to get out there. And one of the things that I do consciously, 7, 8, sometimes more times a day, is I stop my work. I get up and I wander around and just look for some serendipitous conversation that might come because I run into somebody. And I think that's so key.